Hi guys, and welcome back to Hairdryer Treatment with me, Sophie. Richard's Ramble is back. I know I said I'd do it on Friday, but I didn't get around to doing it. I didn't really get a chance, so my apologies for that. But I've held on a little bit, and it made it to be a good decision because there's been a lot of talking points over the weekend. I'm gonna start with the main talking point, the thing that everybody's talking about at the moment. Leads on from Piers Morgan's tweet regarding Demari Gray and his booking at the weekend. And whether he was right to be booked or not. But let me know what you guys think. For me, the ref is just doing his job. I think that face that you saw clearly in the shot was him putting a face because he did not want to book Demari Gray. I genuinely think that he didn't want to do it. He knew he had to because he has to follow the rules, but I didn't think he wanted to. I think all the stick that he's getting is a bit of a shame. I think deep down he didn't want to do it. He knows he will get stick for doing that. And yeah, that's my opinion on it. Let me know what you guys think. But for me, I think it didn't book him because he was heartless or because people are saying his job's worth. He booked him because that's the rules and he has to. I don't think he wanted to do that. And I'm sure Demari Gray would have accepted that happily as well, knowing that if you take your shirt off, you're going to get booked. And I think he did that knowingly as well. But a booking at the end of the day, in the context of the things, is nothing really, is it? So my opinion is I feel a bit sorry for the ref for the stick that he's getting. He's just following the rules of the game. He probably would have got stick as well if he didn't do it. So, yeah, he's just doing his job, and I think, you know what, let the man be. That is my opinion on it. At the end of the day, there's things that are in bigger context than football. Demari Gray was sending a message, and fair play to Leicester as well for playing on the weekend and winning as well. I think that takes massive character, so a big fair play to them. Ref was right to book him. Yeah, Claude Puel, he said we had to be professional, and so did the referee on the day. They wanted it to go as normal, and it did. So I agree with that completely. Um, had he failed, he would have had the other team protesting that he should have been sent off, and it would have caused yes. That is a very good point. If he had gone on to get a red card, then I'm sure the outlook would have been very different and maybe not as soft. But at the end of the day, it wasn't a friendly, was it? It was a professional. It was a league game. I know the context of things that have gone on as well, but surely the ref has to treat it like a normal game. And Claude Puel turned around and said he wanted it to be that way. So fair play for him for backing him as well. What you did to DT was better than a nutmeg. Hi Sophie, how are you? I'm very good, thank you. I've just finished work, so probably I'm looking a bit sleepy at the minute. I've just got in from work. But looking forward to chatting with you guys about some of the biggest topics in football right now. And I started straight in there with Demari Gray because I saw Piers Morgan's tweet got a lot of backlash, should I say, where he was saying the referee was a disgrace. And I actually must admit that I kind of back the referee on this one. I think he's just doing his job. His face, to me, was a true picture that he didn't want to do it. He really didn't want to give him that yellow card, but he knew that rules of the game, he has to. Rashford or Sanchez up front. I said this on the United stand yesterday. I said personally I would like to see Sanchez played there more because I think really to see if it's true what Arsenal fans are saying, is he really on the decline or is it just because he's being played out of position? I want to see him more centrally because I think he links the game a lot better than what obviously Lukaku would. And I think Rashford, he doesn't hold the ball up good enough to be an out-and-out number 9 at the minute. He's definitely not a consistent finisher. But I think at the moment, I've got to say I would like to see Sanchez played for the middle. I'm not saying I want Rashford to be sub. A front three of maybe Martial, Sanchez and Rashford is worth a try. A lot of people want Lingard out there as well, and obviously there's a choice in matter. But I would try Sanchez because I thought against Bournemouth, you know what, I thought he linked up the play really well. He obviously had a part to play, especially in the first goal. And yeah, we'll see. But yeah, for me at the minute, Sanchez is my preferred option because I want to see him there more. I want to see if we can get the best out of him. I feel like you're right. He had to book a really difficult position to be in for the ref. He was going to get abused whatever decision he made. Exactly what I said, Frey. Sanchez had excellent movement against Bournemouth. I agree. Debate and dribble videos are amazing. Thank you very much. Debate and dribble will be back next week. Probably will be on Monday. I'm going to be keeping that series up. I think I had a lot of good feedback from my last video. If you haven't seen it, please do make sure you go and view that and drop a like and drop a comment as well. I appreciate your feedback. Man City are understood to have set up Operation Longbow. Financial fair play. There's a lot of debating about whether City have they cheated to get to where they are. We've always said, look, money's got them in position. Oil money. That's just the way that the game's going now, isn't it? No doubt about it. They'll get around it somehow. Gray paying tribute should be fair. Yeah, like I said, the ref didn't want to do that. He didn't want to book him, did he? He was paying a tribute, I agree, but it's one of them things, isn't it? Why doesn't Mata play regularly in the 10 position? He's been excellent wherever he gets a chance. I agree. For me, Mata should always have been played more. We should have built a team around Juan Mata. His scoring record for United, even though he doesn't play that much anymore, is ridiculous. He's always involved in the goals. Very clever movement. His touch is phenomenal. But he shouldn't be played out wide. He hasn't got the pace for that. So he should be centrally, but people are saying he's getting on a bit now and it's a bit late for him to be our number 10. I don't know if I feel that, but the system that we're playing at the moment wouldn't matter fitting as a number 10. Sophie, what do you work as? I teach English and PE. If you could support another team, who would it be? It would have to be Wolves, because I'm from Wolverhampton. My dad's a massive Wolves fan, so I'd have to go with Wolves. Mattison, Smalling and Lukaku are the cause of the failure this season. You haven't put Jose in there, which intrigues me a little bit. Smalling as well. I know he was dodgy the other day, but would you put him as to blame for the whole of this season? He's had a different centre-back by him for most of the games. You got to feel for him a little bit, I think. He hasn't had a consistent partner. So yeah, I think you got to give him a bit of credit, Smalling. He's probably been our most consistent centre-back, which is worrying, I know, but he probably has. Thoughts on the Super League? Look, the Premier League for me is the best league in the world, purely for the fact that the underdogs can come around and beat the favourites for the league or beat some of the big timers in the league, and it makes it the most exciting league in the world. Morata said it yesterday. I heard him in his post-match press conference saying that the Premier League is the most competitive league in the world. I mean, you think about some of the leagues that he's played in. Obviously, he's played in Italy and he's played in Spain. That's coming from someone who's played in those leagues. It says a lot, and I think if you have the Super League, then I think it was right there. Good quote. The Super League would be absolute garbage. I think it'll spoil it. It'll spoil that excitement, that unpredictability of the game. The fact that the underdog can go and compete with the bigger teams. Where else really do we have that? And I think this Super League idea would spoil that definitely. How many points do you think from the derby and the Juve game? Honest answer. I think Juventus. I think we can get a draw there. If we go and win, obviously I'll be absolutely amazed. That's what I want. But I think if we go there and get a draw, and then you know what, I've got a little feeling on Sunday against City we're going to be surprised. And I think you know what, it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to say a 2-1 against City on Sunday. So 4 points in the two games. Definitely take that. Most United fans, I'm sure, would take a draw in both of them games as well. Score prediction against Juventus. Like I say, I would love us to go there and get a draw. 2-2. I'm going to go for an entertaining game, even though I think we'll probably go to park the bus, but I'm going to say 2-2. I'm feeling optimistic tonight. I hope United get a point against City. That is from a Liverpool fan. Just 1 point? Surely you want us to beat them. Surely. 4 points, I'll have that. We have one of the greatest players in the academy of all time, and Jose picked Scott McTominay. Did you go crazy for the Rashford goal versus Bournemouth? You know what? I actually didn't see it. I was out on the weekend. I didn't see. I kept checking up on the scores, and I literally saw about the first 20 minutes. So I saw us in our poorest spell. I saw Martial equalise, and I didn't see anything after that. And I was thinking, I was literally fearing the worst, not knowing, because I'd seen how he'd performed at the start of the game. But I must admit, fair play to Rashford coming on. We all said we should have beat Bournemouth, but why do we always need to go behind in the first place? So I didn't go crazy for the goal, no. However, I was relieved when I saw the score. But why do we need to go a goal down before reacting? It baffles me. I hope you beat City too. We will beat City 2-1. Mark my words. I hope you're right, Abdul. Beat Mark at FIFA. He's too scared to play me. I said this yesterday in the United Stand. Him and Flex playing each other. They haven't even asked me. Too scared. And I know I've got FIFA because I've been asking him for ages. Sanjay says, is Lukaku lazy? Look, when Lukaku first came to United, he worked his socks off up top. He really did. And I said that. I said he was trying. He was trying everything. But lately, yes, I've got to say he has been lazy. He's been strolling around the pitch, and people have been going mad at me saying he's not lazy. No, he wasn't lazy. But in these last few games, whether it's because of his confidence, I do not know. But he has looked very lazy. Maybe he's tired. Maybe he needs that rest. We shall wait and see. Eric Boy is an odd one. A few people have asked me now, what do I think about him? But he's definitely an odd one. Ability-wise, we all know he's got that ability. He was very rash against Brighton, I believe it was, and he didn't really get back in after that. That was one of the worst performances I think I'd seen. But ability-wise, he's definitely got the potential, but there's something not right there, definitely. If you play Mark, he will rage. Everyone rages at FIFA. FIFA rages like no other rage in this world, trust me. It's not unfair to call Lukaku rubbish. He's young and he's had a couple of sessions, but it's not fair just to say that he's out of form. Look, I've not said he's rubbish. I've said he's not up to United standard for me. We don't play to his strengths as well, which doesn't help him out, and I completely get that. But I think, you know what, if you're out of form, the least you can do is work your socks off up front, and he's just not doing that at the minute. And like I say, it could be down to confidence. At the end of the day, players react differently, but I'm saying it from what I've seen recently, and he hasn't been working hard enough. We all know his touch is poor, but you know what? He's scored plenty of goals in his career, hasn't he? And I want to see the Lukaku of Everton days, where he's getting the ball, he's fearless, he's running at players, which is where a lot of people are saying that's Jose Mourinho's fault, because players are scared to take risks. Players aren't running at players, and it's not just Lukaku who's doing that. But for me, he does look. Someone just commented there saying he looks shattered since the World Cup, and I genuinely do think he looks tired. He looks lethargic. A lot of people are saying he's put on a lot of weight. I'm not saying that, because at the end of the day, he's always been a biggish fella and he's an absolute unit. But he's not had the same kind of work ethic that he had when he first joined United. Let's settle this. We'll beat City while Juve will humiliate us. I hope not, but I am scared about the game going in Turin, definitely on Wednesday. Definitely fearing that game. Right. I want to talk a bit about Morata as well, because we talk about Lukaku quite a lot here. It's like Ron plays in Dr. Martens. It's a good analogy, definitely. But Morata has been banging the goals in the last few games, and the amount of people who have been saying, "Oh, Morata this, Morata that, Morata's top class," and he's been scoring goals recently. He's had a lot of stick in the past, but I must admit, like he played well yesterday for Chelsea. What do you guys think about him? Has he turned a corner now? Is he finally settled in the Premier League, and are we going to see the Morata that we expected to see at Chelsea, where he's going to be banging goals in for fun and he's going to be the striker that we all expected? Or is it just a bit of luck at the minute? What do you guys think about Alvaro Morata? Because obviously he's been the laughing stock for quite a while now, where people have been mimicking him, taking the mick out of him, but he's been banging them in for fun recently, hasn't he? After a year, what matters if he scored a couple? Exactly, it's just been the last few games, and I just wondered, because there's been a lot of hype around him, especially from Chelsea fans, obviously. And comparing him to Lukaku has happened a lot. A lot of us thought we were getting Morata over Lukaku. Do you regret that now? Do you regret the fact that we've got Rom over Morata? I think Morata suits Sarri's style of play more than Conte's counterplay. I get that completely. I think Sarri, to be fair, he deserves his plaudits. He's doing a good job at Chelsea at the minute. He's definitely got them playing fluid football that looks dangerous going forwards. Morata is a flash in a pan. He'll die out in a game or two. We shall see, because they say form is temporary, class is permanent, don't they? So we shall see with Alvaro Morata whether he is top class, or if it's just a good vein of form at the minute, and at the time where Chelsea are playing well and creating a lot of chances as well. There was one chance yesterday where he went for one goal for his hat-trick, and he tried that little cheeky dink, and the keeper just caught it, and I thought, you know what, should have just slotted it bottom corner. But we shall see. I just wanted to put that out there, because there's been a lot of people comparing Morata and Lukaku. They're definitely different players. I agree, it's just a bit too soon to say. But there's been people hyping them up recently, and I just wanted to see what your guys' opinions were. Right. Jose Mourinho, after the game against Bournemouth, he came out and he said that the players trained for this all week. It could have been 6-2 in the first half, he said. What do you guys think about his comments? Was he right to say that? Normally, we know we'd like to deflect. Is this a method of deflection from Jose Mourinho? Because if they are training all week, I would like to say, what on earth are they working on? Because week after week, we're going goals behind. We're conceding, and it seems to take us to the second half to get started. Why are we starting so slowly? And I would like to know what we are working on, because that first goal that we conceded, where we're literally strolling out from a corner, that's just basics. Even at my level when I'm playing, if you're defending a corner, you're literally screamed at to get out as quick as possible to try and play them offside. And players were literally strolling out. Now, I want to know what's being worked on in the training ground, because week after week, we're seeing basics go wrong. We don't look fluid going forward. People don't seem to know their jobs. So, and is it right in the first place that we should be preparing like this for a game against against Bournemouth? Should we be training all week for a game against Bournemouth? Is that what Man United should be doing? I think he needs to go if we lose to City. We need to be the same level as them, if not, they're not the underdogs. To be honest, I think he won't go. Jose Mourinho, the board will say that he's had tough games this week, and yes, we are Man United, and we shouldn't be the underdogs. We should be the same level, but the fact is we're not, and we're falling further and further behind, in my opinion, because we seem to be playing in patches. People say we've turned a corner, but then we take 3 steps back again. We haven't turned the corner. Let's face it, our football is dire compared to the others at the top of the league. And yes, we do play in spells. Some of the football, like there was a bit of one-touch play where Luke Shaw got through against Bournemouth. That's more of the style of football we need, but we're having it in patches, and that's not good enough. We're conceding goals for fun. We're not scoring for fun, and that's what I mean. We're falling further and further behind, and so I do fear. And a lot of people are saying if Jose goes, will that miraculously change? No, it won't. It won't change. There's obviously deeper problems, but I just think, I don't know, I think the style of football at the minute players look terrified. Yes, we've had a few little positives, like for example, we're showing people saying that Fergie attitude, that Fergie mentality where we're scoring late goals, but it's the mistakes beforehand. If we were playing against City this weekend and we defended like we did at times, that game would be out of sight early on. And we can't be risking that, we can't. And so for your question, realistically, we shouldn't be the underdogs, but we are. And we need to face it. We are at the minute. Something needs to change for us to get back even near, because we're falling further behind. I read as well about, I'm going to touch on Liverpool for a second. Xherdan Shaqiri has been left out of the Champions League squad. Apparently it's because something to do with politics. They don't want to trigger the Serbian fans out there. They think it's going to be a hostile atmosphere. What do you guys think about that then? Xherdan Shaqiri being left out, how would you feel as a player? Is it the right decision? Should you be able to play in any kind of environment? Are you from Ashmore Park? What do you support United over Mighty Wolves? Right. People often say, you're a glory hunter, support your local team and all this. I'll tell you why I support United over Wolves. I was born in 92, okay? So obviously growing up, I was a young girl. My dad always wanted to try and get me into football. My dad's a massive Wolves fan. Took me to a few Wolves games as a kid. Wasn't really fussed, but then I started watching United on TV. Absolutely fell in love with going to Man United. Paul Scholes, my favourite player of all time. And obviously we all love David Beckham, but Paul Scholes was my favourite player of all time. And yeah, that's what made me want to play football. Seeing the class of 92, that got me into playing football. I love Paul Scholes, so then my dad would often go and take me to United games to go and watch. I went most Champions League games. I'd go to Old Trafford with my dad and go and watch the games. And I just fell in love with United that way. I could have quite easily been a Wolves fan, but growing up, I was born in 92. Scholes was my ultimate favourite player, and if it wasn't for Paul Scholes in the class of 92, then I wouldn't be playing football today. So that's what got me into it in the first place, and that's why I'm a United fan over Wolves. So obviously I've got a soft spot for Wolves, I'm not going to deny that, but I went to the Wolves United game in the United end, and obviously I was cheering for United and praying that Wolves didn't win, because my dad would definitely be calling me up and giving me stick over that. So I was praying that we didn't lose to Wolves at home. Phil Jones will get a hat-trick against Man City as a super sub. A hat-trick of own goals, I think, is more likely than that, to be honest with you. Douglas Costa got to step it up against United. Would you take Douglas Costa at United? Because that question got asked to me not long ago, saying, would you take Douglas Costa at United? Of course I would, but any attacking player at the minute under Jose Mourinho is just not flourishing, and I think no matter what at the minute, then they're not going to play well. I think under a different manager at United, then yes, definitely, but at the minute I can't see any attacking player really getting the best out of them. Look how long it's taken Jose to play Martial, and it's because he's scoring at the minute that he's keeping his spot. And I just feel if Martial has one dip in form, will he be sub again? I'll be intrigued to see that, because he's got a way of destroying players' confidence. His man management isn't the best, and that's always been said about Jose Mourinho. He's not the kind of manager to show faith and show confidence, put an arm around a player when he needs it. I was born in 93, live in West Midlands, but I went to one game at Old Trafford as a child. It had an impact on me and made me a fan. Fair enough. Yeah, Old Trafford is a theatre of dreams. It really is, isn't it? And when you first walk up the steps and see that pitch, there's no other feeling like that. My favourite player of all time is Eric Cantona, absolute legend, of course. Matic out, Jemba back. God, times are getting desperate if you're having comments like that. I'd like to see all of our attacking force under a different manager to judge whether they need to go or not. Yep, exactly. I've always said, look, it's not all Jose Mourinho. The players have got to take a bit of flack as well for the way they've been playing. I've already commented on Lukaku and saying he's not looking like he's working hard enough at the minute, but there's been many players who don't look like they've been working hard enough, and I think that is a good comment. If we get a different manager, will all of a sudden these players who haven't been performing, will they start performing again? Because they're not crap players. They're not crap players at all, but we've just been playing crap football and everyone looks terrified at the minute. Thoughts on Eddie Howe as United manager? Look, Eddie Howe is a fantastic coach. There's no doubt about it. Look at the way he's got Bournemouth playing. But I just think United at the minute, it's too early in his career. It's too big of a step up. He hasn't even been in Europe yet, so I think it's too early to say Eddie Howe. However, I do think he's a very exciting coach, and he's got Bournemouth playing some fantastic football. But I just think it's too early, really, for him to step up at the minute, because the United job is like no other. Let's not forget that he's like no other job. It is the biggest club in the world for a reason, and it's a massive job, especially at the minute. It's a massive job to take on. Even on paper, for me, United don't have a world-class 11. I don't know. I think there's some players, yes, who won't get in the top teams. I agree with that. But we have got some world-class players, that's for sure. Definitely got some world-class talent. City are going to walk the league again. Liverpool are up there this year. Chelsea are obviously up there as well. I think Chelsea and Liverpool will be the closest, but I do think City are going to stroll to this title again, yes. I am happy that Arsenal, as visual, are moving towards the number 8 spot. So what, we can laugh and joke about Arsenal though, but I must admit they're playing, and that's one of my talking points actually, Arsenal this year, because they drew against Liverpool at home the weekend. They were celebrating it like a win. But let's not forget, this is actually progress for Arsenal, because last year they were getting absolutely battered by teams like that. They were getting played off the park, and you know what? They held their own against Liverpool. I thought they created some good chances. They took the game to them. They didn't sit in. They attacked Liverpool. They pressed Liverpool. They played them at their own game, and I thought fair play to them for that. Yes, I know, like Mane had a goal disallowed, which should have stood. But other than that, I thought fair play to Arsenal. They took the game to them, and that was a big test because Arsenal, they've had some good results. They've been on a good run, but people are saying they haven't really played anyone yet. So that was a good test. And like I said, I actually fear Arsenal a bit this season, and it kills me to say it, but I think Arsenal, they're playing some good football. Again, they're starting to play as a unit. They've still got, a bit like United, they've got a few weak points, definitely. But they're showing progress this year, which we're not. We're not showing any progress. If anything, we're going backwards. We will finish above Arsenal. I hope you're right. I do hope you're right. What do you think about the Dortmund and Hoffenheim manager? Are they good enough to take United's job? No, I don't think. I think, again, United's job is the biggest job in the world, and I think it's a massive step up for any manager. But I think we need someone with a bit more of. It's hard to say, really, because I would want Zidane, but even him, he's not really that experienced. But I just think he's got that. He's an absolute legend on the pitch. Obviously, players will respect him. He's French, which I think will help the core of our squad as well. The players like Pogba and Martial, the world-class talent that I think we've got in our squad. And like I say, everyone respects him. He's an absolute legend. Adidas as well, big selling point for them, a big marketing value for the club. And I just think he fits the bill, I really do. Hi, so we caught you live. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad you've caught me live. We will lose to Arsenal. If we play spells like we're playing at the minute, then there's a very good chance of that. But we've got that knack, haven't we, against big teams of grinding out results, whether it'll be a draw by parking the bus or what. But we've got that knack at the minute. So I won't say that, but I am giving Arsenal a compliment here, which kills me to say it, but they are playing good football at the moment. And I thought, even though this is going to be celebrating a draw against Liverpool at home, we would laugh at that at United fans, but they're showing progress and we're not at the minute. We're slipping further and further away, which I find very worrying. Right, let's talk about some of the games. Champions League's back this week. Obviously a big week for United for sure, but other teams are playing in the Champions League as well. So we've got Spurs against PSV. What are your score predictions for that one? Spurs, PSV, I think that's a tough one. Spurs in Europe are flops, aren't they? But I'm going to say a 2-1 win to Spurs in that one. Red Star Belgrade versus Liverpool. Again, it's going to be a hostile atmosphere there. Shaqiri's not going, which tells you a lot. But Liverpool, I can't see them losing it there. I'm going to say 4-1 to Liverpool in that one. 2-1 Spurs, a draw for Spurs as well, you lot are saying. Then we got City against Shakhtar Donetsk. again, City has slipped up a few times in Europe, but they're flying at the minute. I know they've got no De Bruyne, but they haven't had him for most of the season, and they've been flying. They've been banging in goals for fun. So I'm going to say 3-0 City win for that one. And then the big one for me, Juventus against United. I'm going to say a 2-2 draw in that game. That's my prediction, and I would happily take that as well. Let me know, I can see some of the predictions coming in. City will win 5-0, City 3-1, Liverpool will win 4-0, 2-0 Liverpool. Spurs have been shocking in Europe this year, 1-0 PSV and a rubbish type game. Spurs win, Liverpool win, City win, Juventus win. So you said the same as me over then. I'm obviously fingers crossed that United get something out in Turin. Juventus 3-0 against United, 1-1. Juventus 4-1 against United. A lot of people think writing us off. Come on, United, prove some people wrong. 2-2 as a Juve fan, not happening. We dropping points at home in the Champions League. I'm very confident. I'm sure you are. I'm just hoping that United produce some miracle. I'm feeling optimistic. But yeah, like I say, that was a really fast. I'm really got my fingers crossed for that one. 2-2 is like a mad prediction from me, but I'm just hoping that it happens. Accumulator, you heard it here first. If you put these bets on that, my predictions, I want some commission. I'm just saying. They used to call me Mystic South because all my predictions used to come in. It's true. It's true. A goal for each Dybala and Ronaldo. Do you think Ronaldo will score? And if he does, do you think he'll celebrate as well? I think he will. Celebrated the win against us and he got written off that. I don't get why. At the end of the day, his team's won. I do expect him to cry at the fact that they've won. Of course he's going to be happy. Do you think you would make a good manager, Sophie? No, I think I would be absolutely shocking. I don't think I'd be a good manager, to be honest with you. I don't think I'd be able to make the decisions. I'd be too worried about hurting people's feelings. Mourinho has a great record as a manager with keeping Ronaldo quiet. Yeah, but we kept Ronaldo quiet at home, but Dybala still scored. They've still got other players who can score. Ronaldo's got respect for us. He won't celebrate. I think he'll do a little celebration. I don't think it'll be anything too in your face, but I think he'll do a little celebration. Maybe just like a little fist up or something like that. But I don't think it'll be anything too major. Definitely not. But let's hope he doesn't score anyway. Would you take Blanc as manager? Yes, I would. Jose is a fraud. Would you take any Wolves players at United? I've already said that. I think Ruben Neves is a heck of a talent. I really do think that Ruben Neves is definitely one for the future, and I would take him at United. A lot of people saw him in the Championship last year and said he was superb, but a lot of people wanted to see him in the Premier League, and I think he's been playing really well this season. He had that mad assist playing for Portugal as well in the internationals, and I just think he's definitely a talent, and I would like to see him at United. He can ping a ball, that's for sure. And yeah, he would be the one player I'd definitely take at United at the minute, for sure. Right then, guys, I'm going to go. Thank you all for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I really enjoy these Richard Rambles where we get to have a chat about some of the biggest topics. If I haven't got back to your comments, please do drop a comment and I'll respond as much as I can. I've just seen a question about women's football, so I'm definitely going to respond to that because we haven't had any of them. But it says, what's your thought on Jordan Nobbs? Absolute quality player, plays a very similar role to what I play in a similar style as well. I think she's a great player, very consistent, and I really do rate Jordan Nobbs. I think she's great. So yeah, have a good evening, guys. Fingers crossed it's a massive week for United, but for a lot of clubs in Europe this week as well. Thank you for tuning in. Drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already to my channel, Hairdryer Treatment. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, drop a comment and I'll respond to as many as I can. Take care, guys. Enjoy your evening. Cheers.